Hello everyone, welcome to the class. In today's lab session, we are going to take a look at text mining in R. Before we start, everyone please make sure that you install all the packages we need for today's lab session. So please run line 3 all the way down to line 8 to install all the packages we'll be using, and for each package I've listed why we need this package for today's lab session. So once you install all the packages, please load all these packages into R. So once we load all the packages, we can start to set the working directory. You can directly paste your working directory here, or if you want, you can also use the sessions, set working directory, choose directory, and then find the folder where you have saved all your files, click open, and this will be our working directory. So let's load our data for today. We are going to use the reviews.csv file for today's lab session. And let's take a quick look at what is our data. So in this data, we have 4 different columns: the user ID, description, browser use, and device use. So these are some online reviews for a hotel. And in here, we have the user ID, which is who posted this review. And then for the description, this is the review content. So this is where the text comes from. And then for the browser use, this is which browser they used to post this review. And then the device use is what device did they use to post this review. So now, let's go back to our code. So as you can tell, we'll be mostly playing with the description today. So in the first part, we're going to take a look at a very simple text mining analysis, which is to create a word cloud based on that description column. So let's just use the first 2,000 rows as an example in this review data set to create a word cloud. So let's run this line, example. So we are going to create a new data set example based on the review data. And we are going to take the first 2,000 observations from the review data in our example. So now when we are doing the text mining analysis, if you remember from the class, the first step we are going to do is to establish the corpus. And in here, this line is to establish the corpus. So we are using the description column from the examples, and we are creating a corpus based on all the text in the description column from the example data set. The second step is that we're going to create the term by document matrix. So before we create the actual term by document matrix, if you remember from the class, we're going to do some cleaning. So first, we're going to remove some actual white space, and then we're going to remove the numbers, and the next line is to remove punctuations, and then the next line is to remove the stop words in the English dictionary. And after that, we are going to turn all of our text into lowercase. And then the last step is we are doing stemming, so that different words with the same root will be stemmed into the same root. So now we can start to create our term by document matrix. So the function for that is pretty straightforward. So term document matrix is the function to turn your corpus into a term by document matrix. And then we're going to save the result as a matrix and name it as TDM, which is term document matrix. So if you want to see the whole term by document matrix, you can click here to view it, but I wouldn't recommend you to do that because this is a relatively big matrix, and it will take quite a long time for you to actually open up the table. So let's just take a look at a part of the term document matrix and see what we have in there. So we're going to randomly choose row 760 to row 765, and we're going to look at column 1 to 20, and let's see what do we have. So basically, in the rows we have the different terms, and then in the columns we have the different documents, which are the different rows in our description columns from that example file. So in this first description, we have all of them are 0. If you look at the 12th description, then we have one one occurrence of begin. So now that we have created the term by document matrix, we can start to extract pattern. So in our case, in this example, we are just going to create a word cloud. So what we are going to do is that we are first going to create a frequency table, and we are going to sort that frequency table, and then we will be creating the word cloud based on that frequency table. So for line 42, what we are doing here is that we are summing the word frequency and sorting that matrix based on the frequency, so we can find out the most frequent word from our texts. And then what we are doing is that we are turning this frequency table into a table, and we are calling that the word cloud. And based on this table, we can actually create our word cloud. So we are just using the default word cloud function to create a very simple and basic word cloud. So here we go. This is our word cloud generated based on the description column from that example data set. So in here, we can make some changes to customize the word cloud. For example, if you want to increase the minimum frequency, then you can change this one to the number you want. And you can also decide what is the maximum number of words you want to include in this word cloud. And you can also decide what color scheme you want to use and change the color schemes in here.